Hey guys, hope you can see me all right. Good that you can make it to my channel. Today's video is going to be about pros and cons about owning your own mobile home, if it's worth it or not. So let's get on with it. You don't want to see my face. I'm going to walk around and show you what the park looks like a little bit, and also show you the walk around on my place. And then I'm going to go over the pros and cons. Okay, let's get on with it. Okay folks, here we are. Pros and cons on owning your mobile home. I'm going to go into a little detail and see what you think. I'm right out by the street here. Give you an idea what the park looks like. Looking up the street, you see this is just one street. We got 3 streets like this. Many mobile homes in here. So anyways, pros and cons about owning a mobile home. Let's get into it. First thing I want to talk about is it worth to buy a mobile home today? The answer to that question is depending upon how old you are. If you're a young person, I recommend not, because for a simple reason, they depreciate so badly. You buy a mobile home today for, say, $80,000. Within 5 years, it's valued at about $45,000 if you're lucky, and then it sits forever before you sell it. All right, this particular home we bought very reasonable. When I retired from the city, it was actually before I retired. My parents had passed away and left me an inheritance. Wasn't a lot, but enough, and I was able to purchase my first home that I actually owned without any mortgage. I was able to pay cash. All right, this mobile home we bought, they wanted $30,000 for it, and we ended up getting it for $27,000, which I thought was a pretty good deal. It had a brand new water heater in it. It had a brand new water softener in it, which was great. It had everything furnished, but we ended up replacing lots of other things. Washer and dryer we ended up replacing. The toilets were replaced. The sink had to be replaced, this kitchen sink. So there's a lot of things that we've done. I've also added an addition on the place, on the back of the garage. Now we were lucky on this place. This has a 18-foot garage, which most every home in this park, you're stuck with a 12-foot garage. Okay, for some reason, when they started this park, this mobile home was put in here, and they built the garage 18 foot, and they didn't realize the rules that was set by the standards, that the lot size was determined on what you had room for. And the lot sizes that they spaced all these mobile homes out were all based on a 12-foot garage. They made the lots too small. So, but we got lucky, and this one's sticking over on the next lot next door, which is no big deal because we don't own the lot anyway. We pay about $490 a month on lot fee. Now with that lot fee, we pay what happens with that lot fee is your garbage is figured in that price, your water bill is figured in that price, and your property tax is figured in that price. So, and also they take care of maintaining the roads, which you'd have anyway, anywhere else you live. So that's not bad. I don't mind that. Okay, you look here right around the corner. This is the addition that I put on. This cost me an extra $11,000 to put this addition on. I'll walk you around this a little bit so you can see. And it started out to be a 3 seasons addition, not a 4 season. And we didn't do anything with the inside. But then when we decided that it was all done and said and done with, all these windows were leaking. I had water coming in out of a rainstorm. And I says, that ain't right. So then I got my buddy out here and We got to do something quick. So we ended up talking about it, and we ended up making this into a Four Seasons room. So we ended up finishing out the inside, putting in a second window in the inside as a vinyl clad window that you can take out and clean. Each one of these windows is vinyl clad, and it was all purchased from Menards. Got a pretty decent deal on everything. So we did that. We bought a patio door to put in here. Of course, that was already in anyway. And I like it. And then down here we put a slab, you know, so that you walk out, you're not walking in mud or the grass. And then off to my left here, we poured a slab for the grill. Keep that off the grass. And we got a chain that's embedded into the concrete so we can lock down the grill so it doesn't disappear. And we never had any trouble with theft, except for we ended up losing our patio table about a week ago. And don't know really what happened there, but nothing I can do about it. Okay, back here, we have this beautiful no trailers, no mobile homes back here. This is our backyard. All right, got some, not cottonwood trees, these are, I forget what they call them, poplar trees. They grow real fast. But we do have a little problem with roots growing out of the ground, and they need to be covered up and with dirt, and we can't get the trailer park to do anything with that. They tried, but they don't want to go out of their way to do a real good job. So they bring in a couple wheelbarrows and throw it over. Within a month, it's all washed off. So if I want it done right, I got to do it myself, and I don't even own the property. So that's okay. Nothing you can do about it. Got to live with it. So yeah, this is our backyard. We got bird feeder here that we put out. See, there's nothing on it right now. And I'll take you around the other side, show you that. And I just wanted to go over, basically so you guys understand, is it really worth it to buy a mobile home? It depends. Here's it's a 80-foot trailer, 80-foot mobile home, modular they call it. And I do have some shrubs growing. They're not green yet, still early in the season. And got a small patio deck on this side because of, for simple reason that we're on the north side, and most of the day, most of the afternoon, when you're home, it's so hot you can't sit out here. You'd have to have an umbrella or we have to have a canopy. So I didn't want to invest $11,000 to put a patio on. So we didn't do that. So it kind of explains that situation. In the front here, I put some rose bushes that you can't kill these things. I had these ever since we moved here. There's just no way of killing these things. They've been through some tough winters. Same with this corner bush here. You'd think that'd be dead by now with all the freezing and stuff we had. So anyways, yeah, we got, like I said, 18-foot garage. We put that door in. Didn't have the door at the time. We installed that so we can get in without opening the big door. And we never use the front door, very rarely. So I'm going to go back on the hill and finish my story here. Okay, as you can see, we're on the hill, back where my grandkids usually use for wintertime to slide down, have a blast on it. Even in summer months they play back here. They have a good time. But they're all in school now, it's hard to get them over here. So this is why we're wanting to sell this place and get over to closer to them so that we can, I guess, 5 minutes away and we're right to our grandchildren. And that's what we're planning on doing. And I'm going to need a lot of help from my family members on her side to make this all happen. Because what's going to happen is, see, this is a used mobile home. And used mobile homes depreciate in value quite a bit. For what you paid for it, you usually figure, if you buy brand new, you figure it's going to depreciate about 50%. Now that's after you buy brand new. Now this home was $27,000. It'll probably bring $27,000 with no problem. It'll probably bring $37,000 with the addition on it. No guarantees though, you know. And it could sit for a year, year and a half. I mean, every mobile home that's used in this park is sitting with a for sale sign on it. It's not moving. Just the new ones. And I'll tell you the reason why. The reason why is because they will not finance a used mobile home. You have to pay cash. There's no bank in the world that'll borrow you money unless you got assets to back it up. And they don't want the mobile home for an asset. So it's not even like buying a car. You can buy a car easier than you can buy a mobile home, even if you have 50% down. So what you got to do is you got to have a nest egg if you want to improve and get into a better situation. So this is not designed for the average person to do. It's not recommended, you know, to buy a mobile home as a young person because you're going to lose. You're going to never make any money on it. It's just a temporary fix until you can generate enough money to be able to buy a regular home. It's a good plan if you're going to stay here for all your life. The other disadvantage you got is there's no shelter. Mobile homes do not have basements. So if you have a tornado, you better have a good alert system so that you can get out of the park. And if you go back and look at the history of all the mobile home parks, how many deaths have you heard of in mobile home parks? There hasn't been that many that I'm aware of. Usually there might be 3 or 4 deaths that happen out of a mobile home park that has over 150 mobile homes in it. That's not bad. Regular subdivisions that have regular homes, you hear of a lot of casualties because they're in the basement. They go in the basement and they get a direct hit and they got debris falling down through the basement and they end up getting killed anyway. So it's not always the safest thing just to climb in your basement. I mean, it's the only place you can go at the time. There's nothing you can do. But the safest thing to do if you can afford it is to put a tornado shelter in your backyard. And that's what I was planning on doing, and I already got permission to do so. They said I could do that if I want to pay the money, but you're looking at 11,000 bucks. And unless I did it myself. I would buy a small garbage container, I'd dig a hole and bury it, put vents in it, and put a concrete floor in there and a pump to pump out the water while it's sat. Real simple fix. You could be like 25 feet away from the house, come out the patio doors, fly in there, and you're good to go. Keep your radio down there, keep your cell phones going, you're good to go. That's my answer to that one. I think I'll cover most of it. Basically, it's designed for people that are on their last days, people that are up in age and they sold their mansions. I felt that I was doing the right thing because I wanted to be mortgage free at the time, and I had told my family members on my wife's side that when I retire, I plan on not living here. I plan on living somewhere else because I'm just sick of this same town all my life. I want to venture off and move to a different town altogether. And that seems to be a big problem right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this up for sale and see what happens. I'm going to need a lot of help from my children on her side, and hopefully we can get this thing sold. And then if we get it sold, then we also have to have a place bought in at the same time that it sells. And that's going to be hard to do and have both things work at the same time. It is going to be a miracle if we can achieve that, which I'm for it if it works. So I just thought I'd tell you guys the pros and cons of what I'm going through, and I suggest strongly if you're young, I would say I would never buy a mobile home because of the fact that buy it brand new, you got to finance it, and it's just like financing a car. They'll finance a brand new one, but you're gonna have trouble financing a used one. You're gonna need a substantial amount of money to put down on it, and you might get financing through the mobile home park with their banks. You may, and you may not. I don't know. I know all I did is I paid cash for it, paid $27,000. I put in $11,000 worth of an addition and also new toilets, new fixtures, so forth, and that's what I did. And new furnace, new air conditioner last year because our furnace went out in the middle of winter. Well, actually not in the middle of winter. It went out kind of towards the end of winter to where spring was coming, so we got lucky. And they put it in one day, so $4,300 to have that done, just so you know. So water heater, $1,000 for a mobile home. You would never pay that for a regular home. Water softener is no big deal. That you can make work, but all the piping is not normal piping like a normal conventional home. It's all done with a special tool that's you clinch the PVC pipe. I forget what they call it, and I had to put a filter system in this house or this home because the water was so bad. There was so much chlorine, and I had to take the chlorine out. The filters were running me about $29 a piece, and I had to replace them every 15 days. And that got nonsense. So then I put a reverse osmosis type water system in that was suitable to drink. And when you take a shower or bath, you got to put up with the chlorine. And to me, that is killing us. There's way too much chlorine in the water. But yet I had it tested from the water department from where I work at the city, and they said it was in a safe zone. So you can't fight it. It's safe. But technically, you got to deal with chlorine on your skin. Your skin dries out, and to me, it's not a good thing. So I hope I covered everything. It's not for the young people. It's for the people that are on their last days, and it's a good way, cheap way to finish out your last days. And it takes less burden off of the children. You can give your wealth to your children, and then you can live out your last days in a very inexpensive mobile home. And that's what most of the people do. And I did it so I was mortgage free, so I could afford to pay my bills without having any problems. And I could still buy a few play toys. My wife could buy a few play toys, and we always had, a substantial amount of money after we retired. And it was working out real good. But now we got this thing now where we want to move closer to the grandchildren, and I hope it works. That's all I can say. Just hope it works. And I need a lot of help from my stepchildren, and I hope that they can make it work, because that's what it's going to take to make everything work so that everyone's happy. So folks, I hope I covered everything. I hope you liked the motor. Oh, I know one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to take you into the addition and show you what that looks like. Let's head down there quick. Okay, here we are. We're in the garage. Walking through. Sound's going to be different. I'll show you the door that we made. We made a two-piece door. It's kind of funny. Minimum speed 350 miles an hour. It's a two-piece door split in the middle. And at the time we built that door, it was to keep the grandkids from coming into the bar, because this was a bar at that time. And it still is right now. Got this here. It's the bar back. This is how I designed it. The headlight's up. You gotta plug it in and stuff. I'm not gonna do that right now. I got some stuff on the wall there. I was in drag racing, so I got a picture of Tony Pendergon's car for John Force. I don't think the light's very good in here right now. But anyways, and then we got a TV and the stereo. And behind that black is the components. It's not a speaker. It's just where the components is, and it's got cloth over so you can open the door. And speaker down there where that is. And then got a little subwoofer. And then we got another speaker there. It's a tire that came from one of the races. It's all signed by the driver. It's kind of cool. And got curtains around. There's a whole place so we can keep it kind of dark in here, you know. And on the top shelf is all my cars. Take you up there a little closer. Live news, right? Something you'll never see in this place. There's all the cars. I found that live news thing in the ditch when we were working for the city. That's why it's here. I don't even know if it works. But yeah, then I got this wall here with all my collectible signed photographs. There's a head gasket on the wall. What I did with that is I took the head gasket and I inserted pictures in there of all the drivers. Probably can't see it very well, but and then I got this film strip. It goes up, it's all curled, got photos in there, they're all 5x7s. You know, and then up here I got Craig Anderson and them cars up there, the Summit cars. You know, and then I got my collector coat from John Force that I had purchased when we were at the races. So we love races, my wife and I. We went to the races probably, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 times, me and her. And then I went with her cousin because she has a hard time, you know, sitting in the heat on those blunt benches, because you go on a day where it's 95 degrees, it gets pretty hot, and it's a long day. Because you get there at 10 in the morning and you leave at 10 at night. And then you can buy food, buy beverages, whatever you need. Can't bring your own in though. They got to make their $7 for a bottle of water. So, all right, let's see what we got next. So okay, I hope I covered everything, the pros and cons about owning a mobile home. May not have covered everything, but another factor is that what I've done is I was able to take the water system on the outside, and I was able to convert the one water spigot for the water heater so that you can drain it outside. So what I got is I got a hard line, glued to the spigot, and then when I want to drain my water heater each year to take the settlement out of it, I can just open it up and then open the pressure valve, and the water will just drain right outside. So that's one thing that I did there for improvement. And then I forgot to show you, we have in the back room here, this 4-season room is got its own baseboard heat. I forgot to mention that. Got its own baseboard heat, which does a beautiful job. The heater is about, I think, $139, and it does a beautiful job keeping that at 70 degrees when it's 20 below zero, no problem. And I never dreamed that they would ever be able to do that. It does a beautiful job. And in summertime, we got a slide-in air conditioner, and we built the frame for it, and it slides right in. We sealed it all real nice. Right now it's covered up with plastic. We got to get that off. Every year we cover it with plastic so it protects it, and we'll be firing that up, you know, keep the back room cool. So folks, I'm glad that I was able to take you around and show you my home, and I didn't want to take you inside the house, but I showed you the addition, and you might want to think about it before you jump into it, because it's real hard to buy a used one. A used one, you better have cash. And if you're going to swap out a mobile home and go into another town and expect to get apples for apples, it's going to be probably pretty hard to do. Every mobile home park's got different rules and different prices for rental, for their lot rents. Some of them you can actually buy your own property. And when you do that, instead of paying $40,000 for a brand new mobile home, or $50,000 for a brand new mobile home, now you got another additional $25,000 to $30,000 for the piece of property that's going on, because you got all the water connections, you got the sewer connections and all that. It's basically like you're going to be paying the city now. You're going to have to pay your water bill. It's going to be higher. You're going to have to pay for your gas, which is going to be a lot higher because you're now on city maintained not appliances, but utilities. You're on city utilities, which now is part of your taxes, which makes your taxes extremely high. So I've checked this out about 2 to 3 years ago, and I've tried to do it, and it was virtually impossible for what I found. We messed around with it for about a week. We checked just about every mobile home park, and it just got worse and worse, and I just said that I don't think we can make that work. But not saying we can't try again. So we are going to definitely try again and see what happens. So I think with doing it with the family as a group, maybe we can get it accomplished, because I'm not smart enough, I guess. So, all right, folks, this is it. I made this video way too long. I hope it didn't bore you, but anybody that's looking to buy a mobile home today, just be careful what you do. It's not for everybody. So guys, if you like this video, I really appreciate it if you hit the like button. And if you are thinking about buying a mobile home, don't be afraid to leave a comment and ask me some questions, because I've been in this for 10 years and I know all the pros and cons. And believe me, there's a lot of cons about owning a mobile home. There's some days I'd like to just throw it all down the toilet and start from scratch, but you can't do it at my age. I already made the mistake. So that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. So guys, take it easy. We'll see you on the next video. Hit that like button, and if you're brand new to the channel, please subscribe. I can use a lot of subscribers. I just got over the 1,000 mark, and I'm really happy for that. My last video, I explained that. I love all you guys for supporting me, and I'm trying to do the same thing back to you. And I'm going to have a video coming up in a couple weeks explaining what's going on with a missing video that we're trying to make. And we'll get to the bottom of it. So we'll let you know in 2 weeks what's going on with that. So guys, take care. We'll see you next time. See ya. Bye.